It's like an eye. Looking. Oh, he's got like a dragon head. Look at that. Now it's like a rocket ship taking off. I had to refill the bird feeder. Now it's like Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. Someone was walking by, so I didn't want to invade their privacy by getting them on camera without their consent. And I did not print out the proper liability waivers and legal. Nothing's notarized, that's for sure. Yep. I didn't even ask Luna's consent when I made this video. She's sitting on the couch looking at me like... Actually, you know what? She was looking at me like that before I started recording. I thought... See, you can't ask her if she wants a treat, because she's going to say yes. So you don't know if that's the... So you kind of have to throw out that as a possibility of what she's saying to you. Because she's staring at you with not a look of hunger, of the stomach, that's the word, but hunger of the soul. Or maybe she's just hungry. I mean, she is Luna after all. She's a Maine Coon. She's the main character, Maine Coon. She's from Cancun. I mean, if she can coon, so can I, right? So can you. Oh yeah, I can cook. So can you. If Toucan Sam had a cucumber, I totally lost it. It was the greatest thought I've ever had, and it's gone. Just kidding. Or maybe that was the greatest. Yeah, so all the birds are sleepatized. The sunset is active like a volcano in the sky. Except it's a completely different type of power source, right? And that's the important thing here. Those clouds look really pretty. Oh my God, zooming in. Zooming in, Jack Handy style. When I was a kid, I was always afraid of clowns. And I think it's because when I was a kid... Wait, how's that go? I think it was a deep... Okay. Deep Thought by Jack Handy. It was my favorite one. It goes something like this. I've always been afraid of clowns. And I think it's because when I was a kid, a clown ate my dad. And it's really difficult to say that unironically. you know, with a straight face. Wait, what is... Oh, it's a kitty. It's kitty, 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 little girl. I don't think that's Willow. It looks too dark to be Willow. Am I even getting it on the camera? I don't think so. There he is. He turns the corner. Sorry about that. Yeah, that wasn't Willow. Willow's a calico. Actually, Willow was here earlier. She was hanging out like right here looking up at a squirrel that was sitting on top of there. I think I always sound high. Like when I talk in my videos, people always ask me in the comments, are you high? And by everyone, I mean, that happened once. But it was like, how do you know? But I wasn't high, actually. It was when I was... Oh, that's what it was. The reason I sounded high was because I was trying to catch a photo of like a tiny baby chipmunk that was on my porch. I'm pretty sure. And it was moving so fast. And I grabbed my phone and I like leaned in to the window. And I was like, it made my voice kind of like, okay, like that. Or I'm like stretching over. I'm kind of over emphasizing, trying to get this little guy on film. Like a half second to get him. And he was gone. So, and I didn't catch him that time. And in fact, you see 4 seconds of my camera just looking. Oh, yeah. So basically like the last 4 minutes, basically like that. Anyway. Beautiful. Good stuff. Anyway, that's why I sounded really high. And I wasn't high. At least not then. I am high now. Which I think is even more obvious, to be completely honest. Judging by the way I'm talking. I get really... speedy? Is that it? Am I speedy? Am I being speedy? A little bit. Yeah. It's the I know that's... I was like, you know, I want to cut caffeine. Maybe. I mean, it can't hurt. I think any amount of cutting back on caffeine is probably a good thing. Definitely. I mean, it's not like I don't know better ways to get moving and grooving. You know, I'm kind of a morning person somehow. Which is funny because I never considered life in the terms of morning person and night person because I always just thought I was a night person. And then I realized I live in a difficult and precarious position where you are both a morning person and a night person. And I know a lot of people are like that. And what's really interesting is not just that, but that there's a video on YouTube that discusses how our nighttime sleeping cycle has actually changed since the invention of electricity. Where before that, apparently, since it got dark and you didn't have lights, you had candles and things, but you didn't have electricity out on the street for businesses to like really stay open with like dancing and, you know, music and, well, you know what I mean. I mean, you probably had live bands, depending on where you were, right? But we're talking about a time before electricity, so people, okay, so what he's talking about is that people would come home earlier, they'd go to bed earlier, and then what they would do is they'd wake up kind of in the real early morning to work around the house, to clean, to maybe bake bread, to do whatever the heck you were doing in, like, what is that, like the 1800s? Maybe? Late 1800s? Mid to late? Yeah, like something like that. When did, I mean, it's not about when was electricity invented. It's when did electricity really get put into people's homes? Right. Let's ask it and see. When was electricity widespread in people's homes beyond the kitchen? 20th century. Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because for the longest time, people just had electricity in the kitchen. They're like, why would we want electricity in a bedroom? Well, that seems crazy. It's so it's kind of funny. It's like, but it makes sense that people would. I mean, think about what people thought about the internet when it was first coming out. My first thought was like, why would I want to be on the internet when I have this adventure of the world all around me, right? And the sunset looks really nice. It's like an Arnold Palmer sky. Look at that. Both bird feeders are empty. And look, the peanuts and the sunflower seeds on the ground are gone. And then the little bowl there is... That's pretty much dusted, too. No one's been living in the VIP lounge yet. I like it out there. I think it adds a nice pop of color, but I don't know if I'll keep it there. Yeah, I'll keep it there. You know, give it time. I also wonder if I need to add something to it, or if they'll just make their own home in it, or should I do something to, like, season the pan, so to speak? Right? Should I get some twigs and things, or leaves, or would that have my scent all over it, so they wouldn't like that? Or should I get a little bed? Should I put a little TV in there? I don't know. I figure you just leave it. They'll figure it out. You know? That's what I'm thinking. We will leave them to their own device. I think it does look cool. Oh, I think Julia brought up putting a candle in there. And I do have battery-powered candles that I work on a remote, which is perfect. So I think I'm going to do that, because that actually might look really cool with that, like, stained glass, like, look going on. And that's actually glass. It is actually glass, so it's not like plastic made to look like stained glass, which is nice. And it was pretty great price. It was actually pretty cheap. I think I only spent, like, okay, I know it's relative, and some people don't have that kind of money at all. And I'm very lucky. It was $35, which, thinking about it, I actually thought it was much cheaper than that, which is what leads me to say it's cheap. But when I think it's $35, I go, okay, that's not really, that's a lot. You know, that's like that's like a whole day's worth of food for some people, right? That might even be a week's worth of food for somebody. There was a time in history when that was a whole year's salary. Actually, I don't know. Let's ask Google. When was the salary $35 a year? Wait, I think my... One second, let me turn the headset back on. You just keep looking at the sunset. Yes, the sunset. It's like ice. Okay, sorry, one second. When was the hourly salary $35 a year? Oh my God. Everything I'm finding is $35 an hour. They don't even know what I'm talking about. When was... Wait. What was the annual salary in 1850? Was there even a salary then? Did salaries even exist? Wait. When was the annual salary invented in America? 1800s, okay. The annual salary... The annual salary was invented in America in the 1800s. The average salary in the 1950s was $2,992. And by the 1980s, it increased to... And that totally reminds me of biking as a kid, you know? Like, just outside, This has that beautiful... This is the feeling outside right now is that beautiful, magical, warm, just before summer, just at like this time of night, just before sunset, but like a later sunset because it's 8:30. So you're kind of going to go home soon. So you feel the comfort pull of home, maybe, if you're lucky. I mean, I remember feeling this way at times, and that's good. I'm glad I remember feeling that way. And riding my bike and that warmth, so you're standing up, you just feel that warmth, and but you're also cooled by the breeze that you're creating by riding. I don't have a bike right now. Mine was actually stolen out of our backyard garage a couple of years ago. And then, yeah, oh, that one, ooh. And that sucks because Joyce gave me that bike. Like, she actually gave it to me. It's not like she let me borrow it, which would make me feel even worse. But it makes me feel bad that it got stolen. I didn't know I'd have to, like, lock it up with a chain in the garage behind the house. You're, like, in the backyard, right? Like, that's crazy. It was fun. I had some good rides on that bike, though. It definitely did. And I kind of updated it with some little things, and I had a little cute bag that Joyce had used, and put I put like my phone in there so I could see it. Like I could do Google Maps and stuff. It was good. And it rode nicely, and it rode pretty nicely. It was comfortable. Whoa. Crazy. That was interesting.